So available. Don't hear it, just feel it. Mitsu Air Limited, 246 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. Give us a call at 674-4000 or 675-4000 or email us at mitsu.limited@gmail.com.
Runix Heavy Duty 89 Series. High efficiency, brushless 20-volt motor. All-in-one professional angle grinder kit. Runix brushless angle grinder.
Welcome to the home of Pure Oxygen Spring Water. A breathtaking 1,000 feet above sea level, where the elements collide. In an area of outstanding natural beauty. This land, our land, embodies nature, and our methods respect it. We use clean energy, solar, hydro, wind, to bring you the cleanest water. Every drop, sustainably sourced. Welcome to the home of Pure Oxygen Spring Water. A breathtaking 1,000 feet above sea level, where the elements collide. In an area of outstanding natural beauty. This land, our land, embodies nature, and our methods respect it. We use clean energy, solar, hydro, wind, to bring you the cleanest water. Every drop, sustainably sourced from pristine Cornish farmland. From the raw beauty of rainfall to our state-of-the-art bottling facility, situated on an ancient underground lake. We're reminded of the timeless power of pure water. But it doesn't stop here. The secret of cure lies in the pure oxygen we so carefully infuse. To breathe life into every bottle of pure water, without chemicals or additives. Cure pushes the boundaries of what water can do, uniting life's most essential ingredients: water and oxygen. The next generation of hydration. Pure Oxygen, nature's ultimate water.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening and welcome to Breaking Barriers here on IBN Channel 8. Of course, I'm Inshan Ishmael, your host, and it's a pleasure being in your company. And, you know, it has been a tremendously busy week, not only with the funeral of Basdeo Panday and condolences to the family, of course, to Michaela and, You know, I never really thought about it. Let's pull up the advertise and then we'll move on, guys. Right, let me just welcome Tile Expression to this segment. And of course, Tile Expression is where you get all your tiles, your countertops, whether it be quartz, whether it be granite. Give them a call and of course they will fix you up. It's right there off Monroe Road. One of the things that I never really took into consideration was that Basdeo Panday, he had 4 girls only, no boys. And Michaela looks like the only one who was bitten by the political bug. The rest of them tend to be they tend to shy away from politics. All that said and done, the legacy of Basdeo Panday lives on in certain things. And of course, you know, one of the things I was going through some newspaper articles today. And guys, you will get a little clip with Basdeo Panday, what he had said with the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. And that was one of the times that I had disagreed with the former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Basdeo Panday, when he had said that you ready? Put it up for me, please. Right. When he had said, no, not that. There's a slide. Right. Yes. Let's focus. Right. Panday calls for segregation of vaccinated and unvaccinated. And this was one of the times that I remember, you know, I said to myself, no way in hell, right? And many people became angered by that statement. But you see, the 99% good that he did, we would have ignored and we would have focused on these things. But at the end of the day, it was one of the things that I remembered about him, which I disagreed with. But at the end of the day, it does not take away the legacy that the man left behind. Now, dealing with the current issue, well, we have so much issues to deal with. Let's start around through the slides, guy, and then we'll see what goes on from there. Right, good. Here we go. Could we zoom into that, please? Right. I got a letter from the Telecom Authority of Trinidad and Tobago today. And what they're saying is maintaining ethical standards during the carnival season. Now, this is Telecom Authority writing the Islamic Broadcasting Network. Whilst the authority encourages you as broadcasters to take every opportunity to promote the richness and beauty of our culture and heritage, we wish to remind you of maintaining ethical and moral standards in the broadcast of events throughout the festival. The authority notes that during the carnival period, programming content can be of a sexual and salacious nature, especially during periods when children are likely to be listening or watching. We therefore take this opportunity to request that as a broadcaster, you exercise socially responsible behavior in the selection of content broadcast on your station. You know, this is to tell you how out of touch the Telecom Authority are with their providers. They should know by now that we don't do anything with Carnival. We don't get involved with Carnival. We don't participate in anything where Carnival is concerned. And we don't have women gyrating on women. We don't have men gyrating on men, etc., etc., etc. One would think that the Telecom Authority would have been okra with that by now, but unfortunately they are not. Now, what is also interesting is that the Telecom Authority writes letters to all broadcasters telling them that we must comply with the broadcast code. But yet it is the same Telecom Authority has given permission to cable companies such as HBO, Cinemax, and all those other companies to show programs which goes against the very rules that the Telecom Authority of Trinidad and Tobago claims to adhere to. For example, all the LGBTQRSTUVWXYZ scenes that takes place on TV. And in fact, right there on Netflix, there was a show, How to Have SEX, and that is a show on Netflix right now. So, not Netflix, on Movie HD. So the fact is that when you look at the amount of breaches where the other channels are concerned, why should only the local channels have to hold ourselves responsible when broadcast code is concerned, but yet it is the other providers of content, which is the foreign providers. They could show man on man, woman on woman, dog on dog, cat on cat, you name it, and the Telecom Authority does not see that as a problem. Not only that, if I were, and remember, there was a letter that I got from the Telecom Authority because instead of using the cuss word, right, I use F-I-N-G. right? And the Telecom Authority wrote me and tell me that that was wrong and what I did there was improper, etc., etc. But yet it is on other channels, the word F so, M so, coming out raw 100 times in one movie, and the Telecom Authority doesn't do anything to safeguard the ears and the minds of our children, even though those shows are broadcasted during the daytime when children are watching. Sometimes you're sitting down with your children watching a movie, and all of a sudden what will come up is filth. The Telecom Authority controls all that. What are they doing to control that? Are they contacting HBO and telling them, look what here happening? All they need to add here, all they cannot do X, Y, and Z, because at the end of the day, we have a broadcast code in Trinbago, and you must adhere to it too as well. But unfortunately, that is not happening. We haven't seen that happening. So therefore, the Telecom Authority, up to this week when they send that to me, I told them strangely enough, certain things took place in a recent trial which came out, and it bordered on racist statements being made on the airwaves, bold-facedly, with a man labeling me as a racist, and that came over the airwaves. Where was the Telecom Authority in regards to that monitoring? Or is it that certain people are monitored more than other people? Well, that is what you get with the Telecom Authority of Trinbago. When you have minions placed on boards, they have to act on behalf of the government who put them there. And that we have seen time and time again. So we leave that as it is. Let me just welcome Neil Schultz to this segment. And of course, Neil Schultz is where you get all your auto parts. Remember, Neil Schultz specializes in European parts. So if you have BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Volvo, you name it, across the board, they would be able to source parts for you if you cannot get it. For example, if you need service parts, if you need maintenance parts, if you need body parts, electrical parts, give them a call. 680-0734 will put you in direct contact with the boss himself. Let's go over to the other slide, guys. Right. Check this out. The Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, on Sunday, the 7th of January, the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard attempted to intercept an unknown vessel suspected of crossing the Trinidad and Venezuela international border. The incident took place at approximately 10:25 hours when the vessel was observed south of Erin. Right? A pursuit, well, when they say 10:25, that is 10:25 in the morning, correct? Yeah, because if it's army time and yeah, they go with 24 hours. So if it's 10:25, that's 10:25 in the morning. So a pursuit ensued which culminated in the grounding of the unknown vessel in the Los Eros Bay Area. So the vessel is unknown. And that is the first thing, which is strange. Quick action by the TCG crew led to the apprehension of 4 adult males who were observed fleeing the scene of the grounding. Where is the boat captain? Where is the man who was there with the boat? Come back to me. Last week I said it, and I said it on air. Right? Someone who actually was involved in this whole transporting of Venezuelans back and forth. He used to work on a little boat, one of those little pirogues. And he said each person would pay $500 US. And you would carry sometime between 15 and 18 persons on one trip. Right? And Modi, how long do you think they would take from boat? From the furthest point, from the nearest point between Trinidad and Venezuela? An hour and a half. So is it safe to assume you could make 2-3 trips in one night?
Yeah.
Good. So, and Moody's a fisherman, so he would know. So therefore, if you could make 2-3 trips in one night, 18 multiplied by 500, Moody, use that man, you should know. $9,000? Right. So let's say 9,000 US. Right? Right? Because 10 5 is 50, like 5,000, yes, 9,000 US. Right? 9,000 US on one trip, and then you have to take back. So that's 18,000 US on one trip, one return trip. If you make 2 trips, just 2 trips per night, that's 36,000 US. 36,000 US dollars. Multiply that by the foreign exchange in Trinbago. There are some men doing this right now and are millionaires in a week. Millionaires in a week, but the Coast Guard wouldn't hold them because you see, it have senior officials in the Coast Guard who are in cahoots with the fishermen and the people doing the transport. Because for every 500 US they put out, they give the Coast Guard man a little $50, a little 100 US, and out of that, the Coast Guard stays clear of where they are transporting. Because think about it, all of a sudden, broad daylight, people transporting only 4 persons. Tell me if that is not suspicious by itself. And not only that, you fail to hold the person responsible. Imagine you in pursuit of a boat. You are the Coast Guard, and this is a pirogue. So definitely, under no circumstances could this Coast Guard boat, right, be a mile behind, right? You would beat this in a flash because you are the Coast Guard and the boat you have was made for speed. So therefore, at the end of the day, you were quite capable of overtaking and doing what you needed to do. And interestingly, only 4 persons were held. The boat captain, the person who was responsible, the person who was be assisting the boat captain was not held. You just held 4 Venezuelans. Now, we all know in Trinidad and Tobago there are 150 points that are considered porous in the borders, and that was said by the Ministry of National Security, and nothing has been done to plug those porous borders. In fact, I've said it time and time again that those borders, it's like the body of SpongeBob. It's a lot of holes, and people often wonder why it is we have so much crime by foreign nationals when it is we are allowing foreign nationals to come in here through every corner in Trinidad and Tobago. And we wonder why this is happening. We shouldn't be wondering why. We should be realizing why. Because you see, everybody in Trinidad and Tobago does always take a little touch. You must get a little touch. For example, let the police who in the police station not too far away, they just stay far away from the roads that the illegal Venezuelans passing. The Coast Guard, they just get their thing, and plus people in immigration, they just get their thing to renew and stamp every single week. So it's across the board. Let's go to the other side, guys. Right, so this is what we want to deal with now. This is the, right, normally when you talk about, a Karen in New York, you're talking about somebody who does get on and misbehave and things. So they label these people as Karens. In Trinidad and Tobago, well, we have our own Karen, but not only that, we didn't have our own Karen, we have our own Timothy as well. And this man is one of the most respectable men in Trinidad and Tobago. You see Timothy Hamilsmith, I have not one negative word to say about that man. But Karen, on the other hand, her behavior. Now let us look at this. That slide that you just saw, the Supreme Court judges said that they were left out. As an arm of state, judges should have been high precedence when state functions are held. But over the last few years, there have been a constant diminution of the status which should be afforded to the office of judge. Judges were previously invited to state funerals of former President Maxwell Richards and N.R. Robinson and former Prime Minister Patrick Manning. Over the last year, judges were excluded from the national awards, which took place just recently. And this is all happening under Keith Rowley. So therefore, there is nothing strange about it because, under the megalomaniac, all these things will happen. So come back to me, guys. So let us take this. All right, let us start this off and see exactly where we go from here, and let's put some sense into this now, right? But first off, let me just welcome Berberine to this segment. And of course, Berberine, for those of you who are diabetic, for those of you who want to control your blood sugar, for those of you whose sugar, the highs are too high, right? Take one Berberine in the morning, one in the evening, and you're good to go, and it keeps your blood sugar at bay. You can get it at Pennywise or pharmacies nationwide. All right, let's first of all deal with the video with Karen jumping over the bars. Let's take a look at that video now, guys.
Right? You just take it in the news why I had to jump over. Because the minister, who was my colleague, chose to ignore my presence. And that's what we tell you. All right. I still sitting up. Right, so they ignored me, now you saw me. Thank you very much. And now they have to help the former president of the Senate do the same thing because he got no invitation. Right? So let them continue with the interviews. And look how it makes them look. Take a picture, you jump over. Good boy.
Now, CNC3 had done a poll asking the question, what do you think about, do you think that it was disrespectful? And I think we have a little clip of that, guys, here. Do you think Karen Nunez Teixeira's behavior at Basdeo Panday's funeral was appropriate? right? 15% said yes, 85% said no, right? Now, I agree with the 85%, because the fact is that if you are not invited to something, well, stay away now and then deal with the issue afterwards, right? But here you have the Minister of Foreign and Telecom Affairs, Dr. Amory Brown, described, both of their actions as unbecoming. To turn up this morning in that manner and to try to grandstand outside of a state funeral in that manner is unseemly, unbecoming, and unfortunate. I am very disappointed in the circumstances, the Foreign Minister said. According to Dr. Brown, the state funeral for the late Basdeo Panday, former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, was planned in close collaboration and consultation with his family, it should be with their family, and there was a process involved, not with his family. Right? So, right, coming back to that poll, could we get back that poll question by CNC 3? Now, it is interesting to note that the poll question specifically asked about Karen Nunes Teixeira's behavior, but it left out Karen Nunes Teixeira was not the only one that jumped the barrier. I was told that Timothy, well, you saw Timothy did it as well, and I was told that others did it as well. So therefore, it should have been Karen and others, right? So, but we leave that as it is. But let's try to break this down and make some sense of this. My father died. And to be honest with you, when my father died, I remember it vividly every single day. And it's a day it's a period I will never forget. And I mentioned it 1 or 2 times on the station already. When my father passed away, he was at the 7 Days Adventist Hostel in Kukurit. And while he was there and he passed away, I sat down on the curb and I cried my eyes out. Because I know that the father that I had, right, under no circumstances was he a bad man. He was a great man. And when we came home, it was early in the morning, past midnight. And we were outside, my brother and 3 other brothers, we were talking, right? And I went to the back and I knocked on the door of my brother's house in the back. And I said, hey, wake up, boy. He said, no, he ain't going to work tonight, don't wake him up. Right? I said, no, but it's not that. He got up, as the Trinidadians say, you get up stupid, right? And he said, no, he ain't going to work tonight. And I told him what had happened, and therefore, he also came in front. And while we were there in front, 3, 4 of us were there. I think it was Nazim, myself, Ashmead, Botu, Bobby as well. And while we were there talking, my mother just peeped through the window of the house in the front. And when my mother saw us gathered there, my mother started to bawl and scream. She started to bawl and scream because she realized what had happened and why we were gathered there. We didn't know how to tell her, but essentially, just by looking out the window and seeing us, because she heard us talking, she realized. But coming back to this whole thing, for my father's funeral, which was a sizable funeral because he was well known, at the end of the day, there are some people you would want at your funeral, and there are some people you wouldn't want. For example, if anybody had cussed my father and disrespected my father, I didn't want them at their funeral, at my father's funeral. But you see, with a place like Sapa, I am sure, and I could call Michaela now and ask her myself, but I wouldn't do that because to me it would be disrespectful. And I would say, if you're in the middle of planning a funeral, if you list 50 people from your list who you would like to attend, I think that would be plenty. You agree, Moody? Right? If you could list 50 people or 100 people max, Sapa could hold 700 people. And there were people there, PNM minions, who got invited, who should not have been there. But because they are PNM sycophants, they were invited. And Karen Nunes Teixeira, Timothy Hamill Smith, and others should have been there, including the Supreme Court judges. They should have been there. Because quite frankly, their role takes precedence. The judiciary and members of the judiciary hold the 3rd highest position in the land. So therefore, if you slap them, I mean, forget Karen Nunes Teixeira. Let's look at Timothy Hamill Smith. That man was a former Senate president. That was the man who used to be there controlling everything that everybody say and do in the parliament. So the fact is that if no or little respect could have been shown to him, what road are we really heading down? And to me, it was disrespectful because I believe that the People's National Movement, they were the ones, the people in charge, they were the ones that selected certain people and kicked the tail of everybody else. And I think blame should lie on those who were responsible for leaving them out. Now, Karen Nunez Teixeira should have just not attended. She should have probably watched on the sidelines. And the media would have probably asked, well, how come it is you're not inside? And then make it an issue. But at the end of the day, what was done should not have been done. Because quite frankly, if you were not invited to the funeral, or if you were asked not to be part of anything, it is not that you are the chairman of the event. It is not that you are one of the pallbearers. It is not that you are one of the persons who belong to the defense force and you will be participating in the whole process. You were not part of that. And I must tell you, could we pull back the previous slide, guys? The previous, right. Let me just thank our good friends from True Value Home Mart for sponsoring this segment. And of course, you can check them out for WPC. That's not Woman Police Constable, because that can get in trouble these days. Double-sided decking, high quality, where you could use it outdoors, indoors. Give them a check. Plus, they have everything for your home, and they are located right there in Sound. Right, my phone is ringing like crazy here. Right, so let's go to our good friends at Automax, and remember Automax, where you can get drums of rust remover, barrels of rust remover, and you're getting a good product at great prices. So if you want to be a distributor, give them a call and check them out right there, or they're right in Sound. If you could take up, San Fernando, where you could take a pass through and check them out. All right, so going back to this whole thing now, where we have this scenario playing off, where you have so many people coming in, at the end of the day, it is expected that some people will get leave out, and others will, and some people wouldn't be happy. There are, and I saw it for myself. Like I said, when the camera pan, I am asking myself, who's that person? Who's that person? Who's that person? And when you get a wide shot, it's something else. But then again, there are those people who should not have been there because they did not take advantage of the event. And I think we have a picture with a minister. I think it's Fitzgerald Hine, guys. Do we have that photo? I don't know if I sent it to you, Justin. Check that for me, please, if I sent it to you. Because what happened is that I think, let me know. If I didn't, I'll have to try and locate it and send it to you now. Let me see here. Here we go, here we go, here we go. All right, I'm not seeing it here. I think I had it, but I'll try to locate it. But what I'm talking about, and maybe one of you could send it to me, who watching right now, the Minister of National Security was caught sleeping again. Right? He was caught, right? This is the picture I was asking for. Take a look at this. Right? At the event, here it is. Zoom in. Right, zoom into that picture. And I say this with the greatest of respect, because at the end of the day, in sickness, there is no enemies. Because today it could be Bas, tomorrow it could be me, you could never tell. And this is something that we are seeing very often, and I'm saying this out of concern, come back to me, and I'm saying this out of concern where the Minister of National Security is concerned. But something is not right, because in almost every circumstance or every video we are seeing you fast asleep. And I think that is something you should check up on. Whether it is we are political enemies or not, I would not like to see that something like this turns out to be something serious. I think you should have it addressed. But coming back to the real scenario now, I believe that people like Fitzgerald Hines, who probably slept through God knows how long of it, he should have been kept out. Because quite frankly, for what? What are you doing there? And not only that, you know what is sad? There are people whose roles in this country were very significant who were also left out. But well, I'm going to tell you. Let's go to the other slide, guys. Do we have any more slides pertaining to the Karen Nunez Teixeira thing? Just double check that for me and let me know. or any videos, etc. No, good, right. All right, let's go to the travel advisory. Canada is the latest to issue a travel advisory. And the travel advisory warns their citizens about visiting PNM hotspots. Well, the travel advisory does not say that. But the areas listed are PNM-controlled hotspots. So therefore, by saying that the travel advisory is about PNM hotspots, I am accurate in my statement. Because Canada, you have never heard about Canada issuing a travel advisory for Trinidad, because Canada, like, they get accustomed to Trinidad and the crime and the murders and all that. But interestingly now, Canada has joined up with the UK and with the US, and the US have done many travel advisories, rightfully so, to protect their citizens in Trinidad and Tobago, or to protect people from visiting Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine they list places like the Savannah as a place where you have, serious crime and all that. And then recently, remember the Australian cricketers that came down and they had to lock down Hyatt, they couldn't come out of Hyatt, and extra security had to be provided around Hyatt because there was a shootout with a Mercedes-Benz right outside Hyatt. Let's go again, guys. British Petroleum, Trinidad and Tobago, right? A leaked correspondence claimed that the decision to cancel the project was due to the results of a risk assessment done since a recent uptick in gun-related crime in the capital city, including the murder of 26-year-old Akil Archer, who was shot and killed while working on erecting vending booths at the Savannah on Sunday. Having fully assessed this activity, we took the decision not to move forward with the activity at this time. Now, here it is. You have an international company. Everybody knows BPTT. When you talk about oil and gas exploration, and you talk about Guyana and all over the world, you talk about BP. And here is a big company getting involved in our national instrument, right, deciding to host a concert. And in this concert, they want to be able to provide it free, of course. And here it is now, they have cancelled that event. Even though I am not part and parcel of any carnival activity, what this does is that it throws a spoke in the wheel of the reputation of this country. But Keith Rowley does not care. The rest of the PNM ministers, they do not care. And I said it sometime a month ago, most of the PNM ministers more concerned in changing their complexion. If you watch them 4 years ago and you watch their skin tone, you will see all of a sudden that they have been living in the snow because Vico looking like they're buying it in bulk and rubbing it on their face and their arms and their neck all night, because quite a few of them have decided now that they did not like the skin tone that they started with 4 years ago, and they're using a different one. Tell me a lie. Right? So what we're going to do is that let's open up the phone line for a poll. In regards to this whole Karen Nunez to share thing. Right? But it's not going to really be a poll. It's going to be more of a question. Who do you think should take blame for the non-invitation of former MPs like Karen Nunez Teixeira, Senate Vice President, and the members of the judiciary? Who do you think blame should lie on? Right? The question is, who do you think should take blame for invitations not being given to the judiciary, not being given to some former members of parliament, and to former House Speaker, right? Senate Vice President or Senate President, right? Timothy Hamel-Smith. So we're going to open up the phone lines now. Remember, when you call in, turn down the volume on your television. Let me just welcome our good friends Mitsubishi Electric to this segment. And of course, remember, Mitsu Air Limited. They are where you get all the top quality air conditioned units, Mitsubishi brand units. And those units are 10-year warranty on parts, 10-year warranty in labor, Man, here what happening. On the 9th year, on the 364th day, you call them if you have a problem and they will fix you up with parts and labor. You're not getting that on any single air conditioning unit in the country again. So give them a call. They're located right there in Barataria, 674-4000 or 675-4000. All right, so let's go to our question now. And the question is, who do you think should take blame for the non-invitation of the judiciary, members of the judiciary, the Supreme Court, former MPs, former Senate President, and all that drama? Let's go. Hello? Hello?
Pleasant good night.
Good night, sir.
Yes, I think the government of the day.
Okay, so you believe the government should take full responsibility?
That's correct.
And why do you...
They have the most influence.
And they would have had, and rightfully so, they would have been the ones doing the invitations outside of the family of the Pandays. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. So again, the question is, and I'm asking you tonight, who? Let's go again. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, good night.
Good night.
How are you on?
Yes, go ahead. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good night, John. You know I have it right. The police caused Sierra to go across there. The police set fire. Yeah, right. All that security caused the people to Sierra was going down. The police called them, come here, we're going to play ball. You can't go there and collect money. That's the problem they right there. Solve the problem right there. That's the thing. I see a video that showed the police supporter, a man, phone on his hand. I didn't even see that on the news.
Yeah.
I will call him up later. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so one person saying the police caused that. Now, the question is if the police did give permission to tell them. Now, for something like this, with so much dignitaries, not dignitaries, with so much dignitaries, one would think that the police would be protecting the perimeter. So the question is if the police did give permission for them to cross. Hello? Hello?
Hi, good night.
Good night.
I would say it would be Dr. Emery Brown.
Okay, and you believe that he had the master list of who to invite and who not to invite?
Well, from what Karen Eunice Teixeira said, yes. It seems that they requested it, and Timothy Hammersmith, yes, because they requested an invitation from the president. She referred them to the office of the Prime Minister, and the office of the Prime Minister referred them to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Excellent.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs is Dr. Emery Brown.
Right, and I think where Emery Brown started the whole process was to bring back the body, and he started that process to bring the body back to Trinidad and Tobago, and he started the process. So I guess he was left with the responsibility.
That's my assumption right now, so that's why I'm saying Dr. Emery Brown.
Thank you very much, Kola. Thank you so much. And you know, somebody was saying today that you know how much money they spend on Basdeo Panday funeral boy. And I'm telling myself, nobody could never question how much money they spend on Patrick Manning funeral. Nobody never questioned how much money they spend on A&R Robinson funeral or whoever. I think A&R was private as well. It was private. But nobody, and you know what? When we had questioned Maxi Coffee's foreign medical bills, and it was crossing $3 million, all of a sudden you start to hear birds chirping. Let's go. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I would like you to give a poll for the piece of land we come like you.
You know what?
I would like you to give a poll for the piece of land we come like you to put it to my the land we come like you. I will give a poll for that.
Okay, and what question do you want me to ask?
No, I want you to give a poll for that.
No, but I'm asking you, what and when are we going to do a poll for the Nagar next door?
Don't talk about the Nagar, talk about the poll.
No, I'm asking you a question.
Let's see what my UNC has processed.
Because the PNM gave the Nagar that land. Yeah. But you ain't talking
keep a poll for the piece of land there.
The PNM and the NAR gave the Nagar that land. So how come you're not talking about why it is the one piece of land that the Muslim community get, it burning you so much on the rim of your bottom?
Oh, it burning me.
Because, and you know what is the sad thing about it? The Nagar does charge $20 every day for parking, and we provide free parking for 4 days. So we do so much more for the Hindu community. Not only that, how many members of the Hindu faith have we given millions of dollars in aid? I'm not hearing you talking about that. And by the way, that land is not Kamala one. That is the government one. I ain't hearing you. And it's not 7 years now, the Muslim community get a piece of land, and it's still burning illiterate and drunk and dotish people, you know. You know, and that is to tell you the hatred some people have for the Muslim community. Eh? It shows you how they despise the Muslim community. And I know you hear this talk, that is Kamala land. That is not Kamala land. Muslims just pay taxes in this country too. Maybe all of you don't believe that. Muslims have businesses running, and Muslims deserve just as everybody else. When Kamala was in power, every Mahasabha school was being fixed up, while the majority of Muslim schools were being given dregs. But all you don't talk about that. Because why? Olok does have all your stupid. Let's go to our lines again. Hello?
Yeah, Inchan, good night.
Good night.
Inchan, I would rather say the state officials who was in charge of the funeral, well, it had to be the government in charge of the funeral. Because I look at that interview today with Gary Griffith, and Gary said he was not even invited to the funeral, you know? And he said he worked with Panday closely, you know, in all the years that he was in. And I want to touch on something too. They're talking about the money, right? Tell me something, right?
Uh-huh.
Recently when they had that crime symposium and they spent so much millions of dollars and nothing come out of it, they talk about that.
But not only the crime symposium, and they get the report on the murder in Paria, and up to now we ain't see one page of that report, has it?
When they send Maxi Coffee
abroad,
away
yes,
to get treatment, they talk about that money they spend it.
No, they ain't gonna talk about that.
Anyway, Inchan, you enjoy your night.
All the best. Take care. Take care. Let's go back to our lines again. Hello. Hello.
Ready?
Yes, go ahead.
Good night. I am Inchan.
Good night.
The sheriff say the
Okay.
police
Just
tell you to do that.
Just so
I
hold
never
on.
tell you, it doesn't come in no fake news.
Hold on.
It just comes straight.
Hold on 1 second. You are. Hold on.
The sheriff say,
Okay. Hold on. You are over peaking on this line. Guys, some adjustment need to be made on the phone line adjustment because it's over peaking. You all have the volume too loud on the inside on the control board because it's over peaking. Because everybody who calls on the second line, it's over peaking and sounding bad. So could we get that adjusted now for me, please? And caller, yes, go ahead.
the sheriff say the police touch it across. And not me saying that, the sheriff mouth saying that, and him Brown saying no, but the money they spend on Panday and thing here. They have to say about that now, that will come in the parliament. That will come in the parliament with a million, you know, there's nowhere.
Right.
I just correct myself.
Right. Guys,
That's a
Justin, could you all turn down the audio on that channel for me, please? Because it's coming across. We could clearly hear that there's a problem with that channel. If you could just reduce the volume on that channel, please. Because we could clearly hear on our headphones there's a problem. So could control please get that organized for me? Thank you. Let's go. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good night.
Good night.
Mr. Insham?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes, don't get up with that caller. Let me tell you something. This gentleman has passed on. He did well for the country.
Correct.
And he don't have to study what you think and what you're doing and whatever and things is, right? At the end of the day, we need to move forward at this point.
And what are some of your suggestions?
The suggestions of moving forward is that we need to change some of the people in charge of certain things.
And give me an example. Give me an example. We are discussing here, so give me an example of what it is you're talking about.
All right. First to begin, the government is in charge.
Right. Yeah.
Nunes Sarah climbed over her railing yesterday. She's blaming Amy Brown.
Right.
Right? This is a public figure who died. A former prime minister. Right? You don't have to get no invitation to go there. You could go there and watch it on the public screen. And then go to the Mosquito Creek and see the body, view the body. It's simple as that.
Yeah, there are other options here to go elsewhere.
Correct.
Exactly.
There's many other options you could have taken. But you want to make something of yourself because you want to be in the spotlight.
And right? I agree.
Now, Kamala Prasad's sister was never asked to talk in this man's funeral. And the leader who took over this party from this great man. Right? What was good yesterday that we see some sugar cane on his fire when there was burning. That was very sentimental yesterday. So the sugar cane workers of Carney. I was one of the former workers of Carney.
Right.
Right?
Right. You have to make it brief now because you have callers on hold.
Yes, boss. So, this fella who called us, someone telling that they think and think, don't study.
No, we don't worry them. But you see, I want to tell you something. Remember the relationship between Kamala and Michaela and the father was not, it was not, you know.
It was not solid.
It was not a good relationship. And I always tell people, rightfully so, if you build something and you get kicked out of what you build, at the end of the day, that is being a mahani makaram. So the fact is that whether Kamala and them like it or not, at the end of the day, there were many things which was said, which should not have been said. And quite frankly, I think what she did yesterday, she treated that like if it was a rally, going hand to hand and shaking people's hand. And of course, there were people turning their back on her and all that drama. But that's said and done. At the end of the day, the people will decide. Thank you very much, Kola. There was one, anyway, let's go back to our lines. Hello?
Yeah, not here, Nick.
Yes, go ahead, your life. Go ahead, your life.
Yeah, good night.
Good night.
Yeah, what I've noticed is that the people who went up on who is against this government, they were blacklisted. And no offense to what I'm saying, but I realized they were blacklisted from this. Thank you.
Well, I'll call Gary and ask him how come he didn't get invited. I'm call Gary.
That's what I'm saying. But you see that man sneaking the way he denies somebody for chair.
Correct. Thank you very much, Kola. Thank you very much. Let's that's all right. Hold on. That's not, let me just try and see. All right, let's take this caller. Hello?
Hi, Mr. Inchan.
Yes, good night. All right, hold on 1 second. Gary Griffith, former commissioner, Inchan Ishmael here. Have you live?
Is this Pizza Boys?
No, this is Sexy Boys.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, I want to ask you one question.
Sure.
You were not invited to the funeral?
No, I wasn't.
Why?
Well, what I've gathered is 30 is not because there was not there wasn't any room, because they were thinking about 30 or 40 seats empty.
Yes, correct.
And there was there was people who were there that probably would have seen or recognized Basdeo Panday probably once in the last 20 years.
Correct.
So I think what I picked up is that the people who were not invited would have been those individuals who were seen as being strategically aligned to the opposition. So persons like myself, I think Jack Warner, Gavin Nicholas.
But I think Jack was there. I think.
He may have stormed as well, but I didn't think he jumped over the gate. I don't think he got an invitation, so he still went. I had no intention to do so. I understand protocol, and if it is that I'm not invited, I don't attend. It's as simple as that. But it says a lot for those people who had the responsibility to arrange the invitation. It says, and that's why when I was the Minister of National Security, I did President Robinson's funeral, and I ensured that there will be no politicizing. I actually put the leader of the opposition to speak. I put them in the order of service, and that is what you do. When it is that, again, but with PNM, everything has to be political. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. You don't storm, however. If it is that you're not invited, you don't jump over railings. That is the days when, you used to go to house parties in the 80s and 90s. Past the stage of that.
So this reminds me of some time with them Indian funeral and them, and I can say Indian because that is my ethnicity. You see somebody for 50 years, and when the person dead, you come and holding the coffin and you're bawling and crying, and you're dragging on the ground while they're taking the body and putting it in the hearse, So all of a sudden, everybody excited to go and see the man while after he passed. But that's said and done. Let me ask you one more question before you go. What happens is that I am seeing a lot of repetition where police and their behavior is getting out of hand. 2 cases in St. Joseph where one officer tell the person who was robbed if he know where the station is, and the other one today with an officer hitting out a phone from a citizen's hand. Do you think that there's something going on in the police service that is causing this level of disrespect to raise its ugly head now all of a sudden, or is this something that is enormous and it's just coming out because social media is there when things like this happen?
No, definitely not. I'll ask the country to continue to understand these are the same police officers that just 2 years ago, public trust and confidence in the police service was a whopping 59%, one of the highest of any arms in the public service. So up at August 2018, the public trust and confidence was 14%. Up to August 2021, it moved to 59%, and then it went down to 8%. So it has nothing to do with the officers. It has to do with the leadership and not putting proper systems, one, to ensure proper training in customer service training, public relations. If you recall, just 2 years ago, police officers were stopping people and giving them tickets for adhering to the law. People started looking forward to see police officers in roadblocks because of how they interacted with the public, because there was a stringent approach in customer service training. The second had to do with powerful disciplinary action being taken. I could have put my head on a block as soon as you heard the incident with the police, the WPC telling the individual that's on the phone. The first thing you're going to hear from Ulla Christopher and the hierarchy, we are going to launch an investigation and give her a disciplinary report. Yeah. Launch an investigation and a disciplinary report means you're going to keep her on duty and have her continue to get full pay without anything being done for several years because of who she may know. And the same thing is going to happen to this officer. So Gary Griffith, as Commissioner of Police, as soon as any officer would have done that immediately in local parlance, I'll bust your throat. And that the tone is set. That is why that stopped 2 years ago, because people realized there was if you want to call a radical commissioner of police, as you don't come and tell me what is there to investigate. You heard that the woman got on obnoxious. You see what the guy just did with the phone. You don't need to launch an investigation as an excuse to hope that the public will forget about it in a few weeks' time to say the investigation is ongoing and they will continue to operate. Or you shift them now again, they're shifting them to Toko. God knows how many police officers you will put in Toko station. You lick them up one time, you suspend them, and the tone is set. The third thing has to do with causing now citizens to have to go back to police stations. To anyone who travels further than Tobago, you will understand. Have you ever seen a police station in Miami or London or New York? People do not go to police stations anymore. Earlier, Christopher and McDonald Jacobs have brought us back to the Banana Republic type of policing. I brought in online reporting. So if there's a case of domestic violence, if there's a case of fraud, if there's a case of abuse of authority, you put it online, it goes straight to that unit in the police service, and they come to your home. There was a delivery service. So, and if it is that there's something serious, at 999 you press it, and within 3 to 5 minutes a vehicle will turn up at your home. That is why we put an end to home invasions. By the time you jump back over the wall, you would have seen a few moments later. You shut down the operation response, the rapid response team, the operational command center, the national operations center, the GPS tracking on the police vehicles, the 999 system being fully manned. So with all of that now, and then the online reporting, the police app, the SOS on the phones, so telling people come to a police station to make a report. That is old-time policing. I give the assurance that as soon as general election is over, we'll go back to that situation where you do not have to go to a police station to make a report and be uncomfortable expecting somebody is going to buff you, shout at you, or embarrass you.
And my final question, what was the key back with the billions of dollars in cars that we have parked up at the various holding bays all over the country? Why it's impossible, from the public's viewpoint, to sell these vehicles, and while those vehicles are sitting there, they are being ripped apart by unscrupulous officers and parts are being stolen. Literally billions in police vehicles all over the country.
Yeah, and that is why what I started doing was removing these police vehicles from the stations, placed it in Komuto, made sure it was secured, and then after started trying to actually sell them. People, when you look at a police vehicle, they will be utilized probably about 8 times more than the average citizen. So you will use your vehicle probably about 3 hours a day. A police vehicle could be probably used about 24 hours a day.
Correct.
So it means that the wear and tear will be 5 to 8 times more. So if it is that your vehicle, you will hold on to it for say about 15 years, a police vehicle is supposed to be sold or removed after a few years. We don't do that. We want to keep the vehicle. So after 7 and 8 years, you start having to put parts, and then you have different places. Police officers have their partner in this garage, and that is why I was putting in a garage. I had systems where there were specific places where we were getting the vehicles repaired, and then the Minister of Finance in his obnoxious way said, no, send them all to Vemcot. You send it to Vemcot, it is taking longer to get it repaired. They put in a higher cost. What? Welcome to the understanding about how the PNM runs a country.
Excellent. All right then. Well, Captain Griffith, thank you so much, sir. And of course, we'll be in touch. And of course, thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure.
Take it. Right. I do apologize to that caller who I had on hold. Let me just pull back the other 2 slides. Let me just thank them, please. Of course, let me just thank our good friends at Extra Care. And remember, you pay twice as much for other products that may not be half as good as Extra Care. So make sure when you go to your supermarkets that you pick up Extra Care. Even if you don't need it, just pick it up because they advertise on this program. And we move on to our good friends at Rita. And if you're looking for something to quench your thirst and to hit the back of your throat, especially with the hot sun these days and dry season officially declared today, remember to pick up a can or a bottle of chia seed or basil seed Rita drinks. Thank you very much. We go to the other side. Let's go to our callers now. Hello? Hello? Okay.
Sean, good night.
Good night.
I am the caller who was on hold while you were talking to Captain Gary Griffith.
My apologies for having you on hold, sir.
That is all right, my boy. In China, I'm not a Muslim. I don't think you should worry too much about people who call in and challenge you or asking you a question about Baraka Gong. What you're doing, I think, there is excellent. Excellent. And what you do for all people in this country, since I've been watching the show, not many of us could do that. I can't wait until your hospital is finished, boy. I don't want to come in the room, you know, but I want the hospital to finish.
Thank you.
My boy.
No, but thank you very much, caller. But you see, at the end of the day, since the Muslim community, and I always say that's not my land, since the Muslim community acquired that land, it always brought in a few illiterate people. And I'd like to address it because there's talk about, hey, I'll have place to sell food. We need to get an income to maintain, just like how the Nagar have about 20 different places, they have mall, they have all kind of thing. But people don't see that. And we are always giving back to the Hindu community. I mean, during the Nagar, we give 3-4 days free parking, right? Thousands of dollars in losses, and the Nagar charges for every single day. So, you know, sometimes it's good to remind people because when they drink their old oak and the daru start to affect their brain and they're getting stupid, you need to remind them a little bit now. Let's go to our next call. Hello?
Yes, hello, good night.
Good night.
Yes, yesterday belonged to Mr. Basdeo Panday. His family and the country, everybody who were privileged to see first time the full rites of a Hindu funeral, right? And I think we should let him rest in peace. Whether you get invite or you don't get invite, you have a television to watch, to see, and I see everything they invite me. I could have go down to. And this petty thing about who get and who didn't get invitation and nonsense and who climbing fence and all kind of foolishness. The world was looking at us. And there's a time when we must know how to behave. His daughter gave a good speech. They had no politician speaking, which was good.
Excellent.
And then even see the government try to promote themselves because it's them who bring him. None of that. The country owe him that. He got full respect yesterday, and we should allow him to rest in peace and remember some of the things that he did and said that was beneficial to the country. Instead of all this confusion was taking place. Let him rest in peace.
Thank you very much,
And
caller.
the world was looking at us yesterday.
No, I agree. Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much. Well articulated. Let's go again. Hello.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
In China, calling from Kuwait.
Hello.
Amy Brown, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, is responsible for that non-invitation to past ministers and what have you. But I just want to say something on Mr. Panday, if you permit me.
Sure.
The other side of Panday is that he used to play tabla drum. He used to come from San Fernando, Kuwait, where my mother lives, and he used to play drum. So we were making a 45 RPM record for the CMYO in Kuwait. That is the Kuwait Muslim Youth Organization.
Right.
So Panday used to come every Thursday at my mother's home. My mother used to cook sada roti and fry aru, curry aru. He used to sit down and eat, play music, and go back down to San Fernando. So that was the other side of Panday. He used to play good music, and his brother-in-law, Panswaj, from Kishu, used to play the sitar and the harmonium. The other side of Panday, I know. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Right, so let me just welcome Rance to this segment. We need to take a break. Of course, remember Rance, they're the agents for Miran products. And Miran products, you get corned beef, you get sardine, you get peas and carrots, you get rice. And not only you get that, you get good quality at great prices. So remember, when you're in the supermarket, look out for Miran. Whenever you are out there shopping, you know, I went to the supermarket this weekend, Moody, and I saw a chicken for $89. I saw 2 chicken breasts without the wings for $43. How poor people living in this country, boy? How is a poor man living in this country, boy? I don't know, you know. I just buy a few items and my bill came up to $900 and something. The cat is one of the smallest cat, and I tell myself, I say, but wait now, boy. I am a businessman. I have TV station. I'm fairly successful, and I thank God for that. I don't give myself credit for that. And when I look at what is in my basket and my bill, and I look at the people shopping, and some of them, the slippers on one foot different from the other foot. How are these people managing to keep their head afloat, boy? I really don't know, you know. I really honestly don't know. Some people only surviving by the grace of God. That's all I could say, because I really am in shock. Some of these prices that I see now in the groceries, I mean, it's shocking, absolutely shocking. We need to take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue right here on Breaking Barriers. We'll be back.
I'm Brian. I've been welding for more than 25 years. It's a rough job, so I need tools that last long and work efficiently. The most important tool that I use every day is a welding machine. A good one, in my experience, must last at least, let's say, 4 to 5 years without breaking down or losing efficiency. I've been using a Ronix welding machine for about 4 years now, and it's been a really good companion.
Ronix Premium Quality. Ronix Heavy Duty 89 Series. High efficiency, brushless 20-volt motor. All-in-one professional angle grinder kit. Ronix brushless angle grinder.
Welcome to the home of Pure Oxygen Spring Water. A breathtaking 1,000 feet above sea level, where the elements collide. In an area of outstanding natural beauty. This land, our land, embodies nature, and our methods respect it. We use clean energy, solar, hydro, wind, to bring you the cleanest water. every drop, sustainably sourced from pristine Cornish farmland. From the raw beauty of rainfall to our state-of-the-art bottling facility, situated on an ancient underground lake, we're reminded of the timeless power of pure water. But it doesn't stop here. The secret of cure lies in the pure oxygen we so carefully infuse to breathe life into every bottle of pure water without chemicals or additives. Cure pushes the boundaries of what water can do, uniting life's most essential ingredients: water and oxygen. The next generation of hydration. Pure oxygen, nature's ultimate water.
Introducing Berberine Plus by Aja Nutrition, a unique combination of all-natural super supplements berberine, bitter melon, and barnaba leaf. Berberine Plus is clinically proven to provide diabetic support by decreasing insulin resistance, making the blood sugar-lowering hormone insulin more effective, increasing glycolysis, helping the body break down sugars inside cells, decreasing sugar production in the liver, slowing the breakdown of carbohydrates in the gut. Available in TNT pharmacies nationwide.
Mitsu Air Limited, authorized Mitsubishi air conditioning dealer. No need to replace your air conditioning units ever so often. Split units, cassette, ductable, CTVIF systems, and much more. Mitsubishi Electric has long been powering industries and providing solutions for healthy living. Mitsu Air Limited boasts the industry's first 10-year warranty on all parts and labor. Inverter units are also available. Don't hear it, just feel it. Mitsu Air Limited, 246 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. Give us a call at 674-4000 or 675-4000 or email us at mitsu.limited@gmail.com.
Right. And welcome back, my friends. Of course, you're watching Breaking Barriers right here on IBN Channel 8. And you know, someone called me today, they say, hey, Shan, when you have any next Ronic sale? Well, the next sale will be at Baraka Grounds between the 1st and the 3rd of March, just the weekend before Ramadan starts. So therefore, we'll be having our Ramadan flea market. So for those of you who have not started booking as yet, get ready. Last year, it was huge. That flea market was remarkable last year with the Ramadan. So for those of you who are part of it, remember to contact me at 684-4762 and make your bookings now. All right, so let's run through some of the slides that we have there, Justin. Right, Shogunas North Secondary School. Take a look at this. Please be informed that due to an electrical issue in Block K, there will be no school for Form 1, 2, 3 until further notice. All these things are supposed to be checked out and sorted out before school reopens. But because of incompetence all over, these things will continue to happen. Let's go again, guys. Run through the slides. Let's go. Right. You know, they advertise that there will be a bulk waste cleanup, right, for certain areas. And what happens is that all of a sudden now, right, if you look at the areas there, people put out their stuff. And what happens is that even though afterwards everything was picked up, you still have people putting a set of this rubbish all over the place. Watch. Right? And this is not only in these areas, it's all over Trinidad, these people. And I mean, oh, for God's sake, people really stink and nasty in this country, you know, boy. Let's go again, guys. Run through. Oh, this is just to remind people that I officially reopened my garage about 3 months ago, and these are some of the vehicles that we have worked on. Let's go again. Right, these are some of the vehicles, mechanical, electrical, body, etc. And last year, when we reopened by November, it was a hit. So what happens is that this year, we are well on our way to continue. I think we have more photos than that, correct? Right, if I'm not wrong. Right, oh yeah, there's a vehicle that we are doing over for a customer for tomorrow. So full crash vehicles as well too. So all these vehicles, plus literally dozens of vehicles. So if you had a vehicle that was involved in an accident, this is my neighbor vehicle, by the way. And if your neighbor could trust you to fix their vehicle, it means that you're good to go, right? So again, thanks to Rocky and the family for trusting us, and of course they were 100% satisfied. To those of you who are outside there and you're getting car problems, give us a call at Rock and Bamboo, check us out, all right? This part of my program, I want to make sure and tell people that I'm dedicating it to Palestine for the next 10 minutes. I want people to understand that there will be some graphic images and graphic videos, and I will repeat that because the Telecom Authority of Trinidad and Tobago always have a habit of coming after Wheattail for stupidness because of their P&M minionism. So I just want to repeat again that some of the images that you're about to see will be graphic. Right? So for those of you who can't look at graphic images, or for those of you who are under a certain age and this would cause you to have nightmares, etc., I ask that you please don't look at this segment of the program because I am going to give it to you as raw and real as possible, because these images are shown by other media houses all over the world, and they are also shown on Facebook 24 hours a day, which the Telecom Authority have control over, and they are doing nothing. All right? So, and I'm showing these videos for a reason. Let's come back to me before you shoot that other clip, right? Now, on Sunday, we plan to recite Kunut Nazila, which is done in times of oppression. And this is being done on Sunday at 5 p.m., Baraka Grounds. And of course, we have Maulana Abdul Salam, you have Brother Mirza, you have Maulana Atif, you have, of course, I will ask this guy to also be a part of it, Amir, Brother Amir. I will call him and ask him to be part of it too as well, because he was well received last time. So I want, like, as I said before, this does not only affect the Muslim community. And it is a shame that throughout the world, tens of thousands of people are coming together. And in Trinidad and Tobago, when events are hosted, you get 300 and 400. And it's an indictment on the masjids. Come back to me. And I'm appealing to the masjids, to those people who go to Curep, to those people who go to St. Joseph, to those people who go to Charlieville on the main road and on the highway, to those who go to Monroe Road, to those who go to Masjid Al-Hadi, to those who go to the highway masjid in Charlieville, to those who go to Mufti Ismail Masjid, to those of you who go to Freeport, to San Fernando, to Arima, to Mokorapo, wherever you go to, take time out. And the imams, I am asking the imams to please talk about it on Friday for the Jummah, so that you could get people to come out, because at the end of the day, this is an important event, because this thing is continuing. And what you're about to see, and by the way, I said it before, when we die, right, and we are asked, what did we do? I could say I highlighted it through the station. I could say I was present to speak out against it. What are you going to say? Are you going to say, well, I was by the beach, I was sitting on behind my TV, I didn't want to go because Baraka Grounds was too far, or I was busy, I had to go cinema? What would be your excuse? Now, this other image we're about to show is extremely graphic. I repeat, it's extremely graphic. All right, so take a look at this one now.
متوجه خالص خفيف
Literally thousands of children traumatized for life. Traumatized for life. Right? Because someone came and illegally occupied their place, bombed their homes. And there, you know, this is so factual. Israel has bombed the Gaza Strip with over 65,000 tons of explosive. That's over 1.5 times more than the Hiroshima and Nagasaki nuclear bombs combined. This is not self-defense against terrorism. This is terrorism. And I agree with this statement 100%, because for me, if this were happening anywhere else in the world, I would be standing up. But unfortunately, like I said before, I'm hearing all the feedback, guys. You know, when you look at the issues where Christians, churches are being bombed, and the Christians are also being attacked, but the Christians, it doesn't affect them worldwide. I am shocked to see that that is taking place. I think we have a next video. Guys, could we play that next video, please? Of course, it's graphic. Go ahead.
الله يرحمها والباقي كله ماما ما كانتش انخنقت من هذا من اللي صار. احنا كنا قاعدين كنا بأمان. صرت احكي بنت خالي تخيلي ينزل علينا الحين خسروه فجأة نزل الصاروخ علينا. وانا كنت قاعدة فجأة صرت واقفة وصرت على هيك.
What she's saying there is that she was talking to her family about when do you believe that we will be bombed? And when she made that statement, she was standing there and she felt like the ground fell from under her. And she saw her grandmother die, and she saw her sister die. And this is the young girl that survived from it. You know, and then she's talking about the faith that they have, that, you know, she believes in God. And this is something that we are seeing. Watch this one. Watch this one. Watch this. Watch, she was shot. And they had to drag her on the ground. Right? Watch the effects, that the trauma that this little child is going through. You know, and to me, what I'm shocked about is that I have over 400,000 people viewing this program. And an invitation now is going out to so many of you to leave the comfort of your home. I have asked for you to support everything that we have done in terms of fundraisers, raise funds, in terms of help people. I am asking you, to those of you who watch this program, on Sunday, if you could just come for 1 hour. This is not about Muslims. It's not about Hindus, about Christians. This is about humanity. And when we do this, people ask the question, what are you planning to achieve? Let me tell you something. There are people that we communicate with in Palestine and in Gaza. And there's an app called Reds now, REDZ, where you are seeing the actual events. People from Gaza sending you stuff raw, and we are communicating with this. And when we show them videos of people all over the world standing up and standing with them, it gives them hope. So I'm appealing to all those of you who are watching this right now, within my community, outside of my community, within the Christian community. This is an invitation for those of you to come out. For members of the Muslim community, we ask that you walk with your prayer mats, please. And please, 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 I beg of you, do not allow this event to pass without you participating and being part of it. It is not a protest. It is, we are just going to sit down where you have eloquent speakers like Maulana Abdul Salam, and you have Imam Tolib, you have Maulana Atif, you have Mirza, you have Brother Amir, etc. All right, so I look forward to seeing you all there, God willing, because as I said before, this is the least we could do to help those who need it the most. All right, so my friends, this is where I have to end it off. And I have to thank you so much for being a part of this program, for being here. And of course, Ramadan is coming up soon. And we look forward to all those of you who support us there at Baraka Grounds to continue supporting us, right? And just be safe outside there, because, you know, with the murder toll right now, we're up to close to 20. And it's 10 days. So it's twice a day. It's like 7 C's. So take care, be safe, and I'll catch you next week for Breaking Barriers. There is a repeat of this program at 9 p.m. on Saturday. God bless you, take care, and I'll catch you next week. Assalamu alaikum and good evening.